Good evening. This is Spectrum News at 10. I am Rita Inung coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Bola Tinubu receives Queen of Denmark, Mary Elizabeth. Akwa Ibom government cautions against use of governor's name for fund solicitation. Plus, Israel-Iran ceasefire holds amid US President Donald Trump's rebuke. Details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. First in the news this morning is that President Bola Tinubu has received the Queen of Denmark, Mary Elizabeth, who paid him a courtesy visit at the State House in Abuja. The European monarch was welcomed at the president's official residence within the State House, where she was received by President Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi Tinubu. The high-level meeting, which marks a significant diplomatic engagement between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Denmark, took place behind closed doors, with details of the discussion yet to be discussed. Also present at the reception were the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajamiala, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Toga, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu, and in the company of the Queen was the Danish Ambassador to Nigeria, Janice Bash Hansen. Away from that, the federal government has said no stone will be left unturned towards Nigeria's drive to achieve 95% digital literacy by 2030. The government assured that following the inclusion of digital literacy as a cornerstone of the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Tinubu's administration, all efforts will be geared towards the success of the goal. The chairman of the Technical Working Group for the initiative and president of Digital Bridge Institute (DBI), David Dassa, who gave the assurance during the inaugural meeting of the group in Abuja, said the government, as well as members of the National Digital Literacy Technical Working Group, are committed to the ideas and goals of achieving 95% digital literacy in the country by 2030. Dasa commended the Minister of Communications, Innovations and Digital Economy Bosun Tijani and the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Esther Wilson Jack, for their commitment to the success of the goal, noting that the inclusion of digital literacy as the cornerstone of the renewed hope agenda underscores a profound understanding of its critical role in the national development, empowering citizens and positioning Nigeria for a prosperous future in the global digital landscape. And from the Red Chambers, the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals Development has stressed the importance of intergovernmental collaboration, asserting that no single state can successfully develop vast solid mineral sector without partnering with the federal government. The chairman of the committee, Ekong Samson, stated that during separate courtesy visit to the governors of Enugu and Ebonyi states as part of the committee's oversight tour of mining sites across the southeast. Speaking in Enugu after the meeting, Governor Peter Mba Samson also stated Governor Peter Mba and Samson also stated that no level of government can do it alone if the country is to harness the full potential of mining. He added that the committee's visit to mining sites aimed at assessing the sector and gathering actionable insights to guide the national mining policies. And now to the Green Chambers, where The House of Representatives has inaugurated an ad hoc committee to convene a special security conference on the security challenges in Plateau State and beyond. Speaking at the ceremony in Abuja, the chairman of the committee, Hamed Wahid, decried the incessant crisis in the state. He said the security challenges in Plateau had persisted for too long, adding that the recurring cycle of violence had left many communities in sorrow as well as displaced many families. According to the chairman, the incessant crisis has also destroyed livelihoods and eroded trust among ethnic and religious groups. On judicial matters, the Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos, has fixed September 15, 2025, to rule on an application by a former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele seeking a forensic examination of some WhatsApp messages admitted in evidence in his ongoing trial for alleged $4.5 billion and 2.8 billion naira fraud. Justice Rahman Oshodi fixed the date after listening to arguments from Emefiele's counsel Olalekan Ojo SAN, challenging the authenticity of the digital messages presented by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC against him. Through the lawyer, the former CBN boss told the court that he would need to engage a forensic expert to confirm the veracity of the evidence. The defendant asked the court to permit the forensic expert to examine both the mobile device used to extract the messages as well as the printed chat logs. The senior lawyer argued that the forensic analysis was necessary to verify the credibility of the evidence, which played a critical role in the case being prosecuted by the EFCC. And in a separate development, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, has announced the arrest of 26 persons suspected to be masterminds of the killings in Yelwata, Benue State. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the IGP said the police were on the heels of other suspects who participated in the Yelwata killings that led to the death of 47 persons. He assured Nigerians that the police are not overwhelmed as they are mopping up light and small weapons illegally acquired by some persons. Kayode added that the police is also intensifying its border patrols in order to curtail the influx of irregular migrants into the country. The IGP added that the arrested suspects will be arraigned in court soon, including the 22 suspects who were arrested in Jos over the gruesome murder of 9 persons traveling the Kwampan for a wedding. The IGP clarified that 28 persons were initially arrested, but 2 have been cleared as they were the only ones used as bait to arrest the 26 suspected masterminds. Back here, the Akwa Ibom state government has expressed concerns over the use of the governor's name, Pastor Umo Eno, to solicit funds from the public, as well as the unauthorized use of government insignia by individuals, groups, and organizations to promote private events. A release signed by the Commissioner for Information, Anyekan Umana, stated that the name and office of the governor must not be used for any form of fundraising, describing such actions as inappropriate, misleading, and capable of creating false impressions. The release further clarified that the governor will not serve as chairman or chief launcher at any event, and therefore warned that his name should not be used for such purposes under any pretext. It emphasized that those seeking the governor's endorsement, presence, or involvement in any activity or event must obtain prior approval for the appropriate authorities, warning that any action contrary to the directive will be treated with utmost seriousness. While reaffirming its commitment to genuine public engagements, the government stressed that due process and official protocols must be followed in order to uphold the integrity of the office of the governor and the Akwa Ibom state government. Now to Africa, where the US Supreme Court has ruled that the Trump administration can, for now, deport immigrants to third countries like Libya, and South Sudan. The 6-3 decision allows the administration to bypass earlier court orders that had blocked such removals, citing risk to migrant safety. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, in a sharp dissent, joined by Justices Kagan and Jackson, criticized the decision, warning it could expose thousands to violence. Recall that the administration recently attempted to deport 8 men, only one from South Sudan, to the country, despite it being racked by conflict, displacement, and human rights abuses. Reports say the group is currently held in Djibouti while awaiting their fate. And on the foreign scene, a ceasefire appears to have taken hold between Israel and Iran, with both nations acknowledging that it is in place. The development follows an outburst from US President Donald Trump, who had earlier accused both sides of violating the agreement. According to reports, the terms of the ceasefire seem to involve little more than a mutual halt in strikes from both sides. Meanwhile, Trump is attending the NATO summit in the Netherlands, where the focus is on defense spending. And still on the foreign scene, Donald Trump has insisted that nuclear sites in Iran were completely destroyed by US military strikes, despite an intelligence report casting doubt on their success. The leaked damage assessment from the Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency estimated that the attack only set Iran's nuclear program back a few months. And still to come in the news, 10 teams qualify for the round of 16 stage in Club World Cup 2025. Do stay tuned for details of this in a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. And now we go over to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, the World Bank has warned that restrictive trade and investment policies adopted by many governments are threatening to choke off foreign direct investments (FDI), which remains critical to economic growth in Nigeria and other developing economies. In a report released ahead of the Conference on Financing for Development scheduled to take place in Seville, Spain from June 30 to July 3rd, The bank revealed that FDI into developing economies dropped to $435 billion in 2023, its lowest level since 2005. The chief economist and senior vice president at the World Bank, Indemit Gill, attributed the plunge in investment to deliberate policy choices by governments. Meanwhile, the deputy chief economist and director of the Prospects Group at the World Bank, Ayan Kose, described the trend as alarming, saying that reversing it must be an urgent priority for government and development partners alike. In health, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has said the Nigerian recently signed a memorandum of understanding with India to prevent the production of codeine-based syrups for importation into Nigeria. This is even as the agency reiterated that it is strengthening actions and cooperation in curtailing the availability, accessibility, and affordability of drugs. The Apapa strategic commander of the NDLEA, Buba Wakawa, disclosed this while addressing journalists at the command as part of activities to mark the commemoration of the 2025 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Drug Trafficking. He said that the event, which had been billed to take place on Thursday, has been themed "The Evidence is Clear. Invest in Prevention, Break the Cycle." Wakawa stated that if the country must guarantee sound health and security in communities, drugs have to be curtailed. And still in health, the Anambra State government has unveiled a series of major developmental strategies, including the construction of a state rehabilitation center to tackle mental health challenges as it prepares to open the Solution Fund City to the public on June 28, 2025. Recall that the Solution Fund City, part of the legacy projects built by Professor Chukuma Soludo administration, was inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu during his one-day official visit to Anambra on May 8. In a statement, the State Commissioner for Information, Law Mayfor, said the decision was taken at the 12th meeting of the Anambra State Executive Council held at the Lighthouse, Oka. According to him, other key decisions were made during the meeting, among which includes the building of a rehabilitation center at Nibo in Oka to address the state's mental health issues. And now to sports, where at least 10 teams have so far qualified for the round of 16 at the ongoing FIFA Club World Cup. This follows the conclusion of the latest group stage fixtures played on Tuesday and the early hours of today. Recall that Benfica defeated Bayern Munich 1-0 to qualify for the last 16. A first half goal from Andres gave Benfica the victory over the Bundesliga champions Chelsea. On their part, won 3-0 against AS Tunis to also advance to the last 16. They now join the likes of Inter Miami, Palmeiras, PSG, Bayern Munich, Flamengo, Botafogo, Juventus, and Manchester City as clubs that will play in the round of 16. And still in sports, FIFA has confirmed that Chelsea striker Nicolas Jackson will serve a two-game ban over the red card he picked up against Flamengo at the Club World Cup. It was Jackson's second sending off in 4 games for the Blues. Jackson was dismissed a few minutes after he came on in the second half of their 3-1 defeat to the Brazilian side. Jackson, however, took to social media to apologize for his actions after the match. On our entertainment news, Afrobeat singer Stanley Didia, popularly known as Omalay, has revealed that money could help him heal from depression. The so-so crooner disclosed this in a post on social media, claiming that £10 million or dollars could make him feel better, at least for a month. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 10. I am Rita Inung. Do enjoy the rest of your day.